Okay. It says live. Let me see if this is actually working on my side. Let me see. I think I put this in here right. Rachel, I think it's on, just so you know, not that
Yeah.
it matters, but I think what we're doing right now is also on your LinkedIn. If I did this correctly, it should be on both of our LinkedIns.
Okay.
Anyway, if anyone is seeing this, if you're joining us, we are calling this public market. We're going to literally give people access to our marketing, what we're doing every single day, well, not every single day, every single week, in our marketing L10s because we use EOS. Um, and I hate gatekeeping. So we're going to just have everything live and in person for at least 15 minutes. So what we're going to do today is go through some of our new content calendar that I have put together. And I haven't shown this to Rachel or Jenna yet. So I am going to share my screen, see if I can do this right in real time. Minimize all
Now,
you guys
Adam,
out of here. Go
for
for it.
for the content calendar, are you pulling this together for Share Your Genius, or are you pulling this together for Founder, or like give me the context of all of that?
So I have put this together for Share Your Genius as a whole collectively. So the
Okay.
content that I think we should be putting on our blog, on LinkedIn, in newsletters, podcasts, short form, and this is not complete, but what I have started doing, and I'll walk through this in just a second, basically built out every single week, kind of starting, these dates are wrong, kind of starting September 1st, but everything I think we should be doing that we aren't currently or need to do more of. And then I've started putting it into Notion so that we have one single source of truth. So that in addition to all of the content I want us to build out, we can also put events and we can put podcast drops and we can put everything else in here. So I have broken this out into the types of content, but also editorial buckets, like good for our business to draw in organic search, stuff like story recognition, which is a part of some of the things that you want to do. Public market, which is what we're doing right now, are the two podcasts that we are rolling out, kind of everything in here. And so I know that this is a ton to look at in real time, but I think putting this all in our marketing calendar over here. This is also, by the way, where your marketing calendar is that Jackie uses to put stuff on for you. Um, Putting everything in here, not this. This is messy, and if everybody on our team looked at this, they would get a headache. But putting everything in a single source of truth of saying, like, okay, September 1st, we want to build out an SEO blog, being honest about pricing, about B2B podcasts and why no one actually talks about it. That is going to roll out on this date. And then what I'll put in the following days on this is like the types of LinkedIn content that we would want to roll out with this. So short form videos, but also YouTube shorts. Do we want to do a 5-minute explainer video where you're talking about pricing and packaging from a podcast standpoint and put that on our YouTube channel? Having that all here, but then also implementing in here, when is our new straight to voicemail episodes dropping? When is our new marketing podcast dropping in October, so that we have that in here, and just that way we can have a better cadence of understanding, like, on this day this type of brand content is dropping. And then in a perfect world, we would also put in here, like, Amanda, Rachel, and Adam are also going to be talking about X, Y, and Z things on their own social channels. So that is my future state that I want in here, is not just what we're posting and what we're publishing and where we're going to be, but also what we, the individuals, are putting out there as well. That is my end goal for all of this.
Okay. So one of the things that I want to call out was, one is, Jenna, because this is connected to Notion, which is our like company wiki essentially, you can actually go into Claude and ask it what is going out on a certain day, just so that you have that. The other thing is, like, once we've like agreed or approved or whatever the plan, I would actually like that on the marketing calendar as well, which is the Google marketing calendar, because then I can see what is supposed to go out that day and not have to go into Notion. So I don't know if that's something Jenna can own, making sure that like Adam, as you build it out, she takes it and actually puts it into the calendar that rules our life. And then my assumption is, Jenna, you'll have some to-dos that get triggered from that, because if we have a partner posting and we all know that's happening, you know that one of the activities that you need to spend time on today is like engaging with that piece of content or whatever. And then theoretically, Adam, my assumption is if that's how you mapped it out, then you don't have to what's the word I'm looking for? You don't have to hold me accountable. I mean, you do have to hold me accountable, but you won't have to worry that I'm writing about something and posting it on a day that you weren't aware of. I'll still do my free stuff, but specific things, you'll be like, she's doing this on Thursday, not Tuesday. If it's on my actual calendar, because then I'll schedule my stuff that way.
Yeah, that makes sense. And if people are still watching this, my computer's doing a fun thing where it just stops. I didn't purposely stop sharing. Jenna, Rachel, I sent you guys that Excel spreadsheet in Slack. If you guys want to keep looking at it, I wasn't like trying to be secretive. But yeah, I will say this is always going to be broad strokes in the sense where, like, Rachel, I don't ever want to take away from like if you get inspired at 5 a.m. or 9 p.m., the two times that I think you write. If you want to, if you were to come to me and be like, hey, I wrote this newsletter and it's my weekly observations about changes to LinkedIn, I'm never going to be like, great, but you can't publish that until October 13th when I said you have to. It's more of being able to come to you and our team really on a weekly basis and saying like, hey, we want to put something out this week about, we're going to HubSpot Unbound. Like, and we know that our partners are talking about this specific thing. So like, I'm going to put a thing out on LinkedIn this week about insert one of our partners, like what their speech is at Unbound. And it'd be really helpful if we all kind of rallied around it. So it's just like looking at it, like when we launch, we have 2 new podcasts that we're launching in the next, call it 5 months. Just being able to go in there and then show everyone on the team like, hey, the trailer just dropped for this thing. And because the trailer just dropped and the first episode's coming and we know what the first episode is going to be about, so we have an SEO piece that's tied to it. And it's really just making sure that everything is like holistically attached. And to your point about Notion, that was the other thing is I love having a spreadsheet. That's nice. And I agree with you putting it in Google Calendars, but like the fact that we have our quad tied to Notion, I'm going into, let me see if I can show it without it disappearing again. In the Notion calendar, let me pull up one of these really quickly. Okay, so for example, we've got share. All right, minimize you guys. Okay, so what's that?
Nothing.
So for example, just to show you like how I'm building these out, I built out a CMO / head of marketing's guide to launching a podcast. And the purpose of this is so people understand like the honest reality of what it takes to launch a podcast. And so every single one of these thought leadership pieces that's going to go on the website that then we can turn into short form content everywhere. Everywhere else has keywords. It has the search intent. It has who the ICP target is. And it has a whole bunch of like questions to ask and things that we will have in here and why we're building this out. So like, it's not just me saying, hey, we should have a podcast about, or we should have a blog about how to launch a podcast. It's because these are like actual things that people are searching for. So like stuff like that, there's a SEO AEO gap that I think we can easily show up for, but then it also is stuff that we can put content out on LinkedIn and YouTube Shorts and stuff. So kind of all ties together.
So the only thing I feel like is missing on this, and again, going back to why we're even pulling this calendar together, is so that we can know what's going out when and measure effectiveness ultimately. So I think the only thing that I feel like might be missing that would be helpful is if there's anything that we have a theory of victory around putting paid behind. Like we might highlight that, be like, let's boost that. Cause then when we review like the content, we could be like, that popped off. Why? And maybe that was one that's boosted or not. And then the other thing that I think would be helpful and maybe it goes under events unless you want to do something different, Adam. But I'm like, because we're being intentional about having LinkedIn lives with clients or partners, maybe those go on there too, so that specifically Jenna's like, okay, I need to be on LinkedIn this day, engaging with these people, blah, blah, blah. And then not because we need more to-dos, but again, I'm just looking at, is the activity that we're creating value? So I'm wondering, and this you can poo-poo it immediately, but I'm wondering if, part of our strategy is making sure that we're actually building the relationships with the people we already are in relationship with. And so like, I want to know if as a Cherry Genius, if we're engaging with the content that our clients and partners are producing. And so I'm like, is that a layer of our content calendar that we actually should be thinking about? And showing that we're actually doing these things and whether or not that is having any value, intrinsic or otherwise.
Are you saying having something on our content calendar about what our partners are posting and when?
Not necessarily what they're posting, but just like I'm thinking about specifically Jenna and her role and like wondering if there should be a motion and might not go on content calendar. It could be total tangent, but just like I want to know if we're engaging with content that doesn't come from us.
Yeah.
And if we're doing that intentionally and regularly. So I'm like, if that's something that might just be a behavior that's tracked versus we engaged, I don't need it to be like, we engage with this piece of content that Bob wrote on this topic. Like that would be silly.
Yeah.
But I'm more just like wondering about that kind of thing.
I would say that is a to-do for Jenna, and she does it pretty frequently. In fact, she, left me a note, and she gave me a note today. She's got, 2 of our partners. She's got a list of people that like to reach out to that engage with their content that are fits for us. So I don't think that needs to go here, but it's a good thing to know, and it's something that I know Jenna is like doing. That's part of the list building stuff that we're talking about as well. Shoot, there was one other thing you mentioned at the beginning of that I wanted to give you a thought on. No, was that
paid?
It's gone. Paid. Okay. Yes. Thank you. Nice job. Yes, I will say our main thing from a paid standpoint, and then I have to jump to a sales call. But the main thing from a paid standpoint is right now we're mostly putting money behind thought leadership ads, behind stuff that either you post or partners post. But what we could do is, when applicable, like the CMO's Guide to Launching a Podcast, we have CMOs who are partners with us, asking them to post something similar or about it and linking to it. And then we could do a thought leadership ad behind that particular post. And so we could see like, oh, this popped off because so-and-so talked about it. So that is a good note.
Okay. Let's do that. I think that would help us be like, that was worth it, and like theory of victory vibes. So, okay, this is cool. Let's make it so. And then are we just going to capture the to-do that Jenna's owning, putting it into the actual Google Calendar?
Yes.
I'll write that down.
Would be fabulous.
And we can put it in the marketing all time thing as well.
Beautiful.
Cool.
Awesome. Thanks, guys.
Great work.